Very good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining in the Endpoint Central training series. So this is all about the Endpoint Central Unified Endpoint Management and Security Solutions training. So before we jump onto it, please do confirm whether you're able to hear my voice clearly and view the presentation. You can confirm this by commenting over the chat or the putting up the emojis. All right, that's great. All right. All right, let me introduce myself. Myself, Karthik, a product specialist from the Manage Engine, handling the UMS suite for endpoint management and the security solutions, including the Endpoint Central. And along with me, I have a colleague, Mr. Bhaskar, who will be covering the second half of the sessions today. And yes, a warm welcome to our customers, a partner, and valuable users across the globe to the Endpoint Central training. Let's get into the quick overview about the training schedule. So we are in the week 4, where we're covering the asset management for modern devices. I hope you have already attended the previous sessions, which have been more interactive with covering the vulnerabilities and how to secure the endpoints with the unknown and known vulnerabilities, and other security postures with the applications deployment, security for the legacy or modern endpoints. And today we are going to cover about the inventory management and for the modern management devices too. And you can able to register yourself the URL that has been shown in the screen. And we do have a couple of sessions in upcoming weeks. Yeah, please do note that you do have a participate certificate according to the series whenever you attended it. So the entire series has been attended, the participate certificates can be collected. So where you can register yourself from here, and end of the series, our team will provide the certificate for you. Yeah. So let's get into today's topic, asset management for modern devices. Right. The first and foremost, the quick overview about the product we are going to see about, and how the inventory posture works from the endpoint management. And we're going to see about the software licenses and how the unauthorized applications can be restricted, and followed by the help-desk integrations, the powerful tools that has been readily available to integrate with the solution. And the second half of the session, we're going to see about the profile content, right? Corporate profiles to the modern devices and the content management as well. The quick heads up on the asset scan architecture, how we getting the asset informations. And by the end of this call, where we having the frequent access questions, where you can able to access it. In the meantime, during the presentations, if you have any queries, you can keep on posting in the chat box. We do have a panelist readily available to answer all the questions. The first and foremost, what is unified endpoint management? The leading analyst called Forrester defines the unified endpoint management as a product that provides a centralized policy engine for managing and securing employee laptops and mobile devices from a single console. Yes, obviously, as an enterprise, we'll be having the number of endpoints, and that needs to be managed under certain criteria to secure the endpoints in terms of patching, software deployments, everything, and that needs to be under the single console. Yeah, where the endpoints are all seamlessly performing the same. As a unified endpoint management solution, where it will cover the both portfolio on the comes under the management and as well as the security posture, where you can perform the patching, the automating the updated patching management over there, remote device management, applications currently being installed, those inventory management, and the configurations we are going to deploy in the enterprise assets. On the security posture, to enhance the security on the endpoints, data loss prevention, the browser protections activity, including the web protection, the device compliance, app and how the device control and what are the devices are connected to the end devices. And we'll be having the detailed analytics and the reporting point of view, and then ransomware protection as well. As a solution, it's available in the cloud and as well as the on-premise. And we do have a MSP and RMM kind of solution comes under the Endpoint Center platform. With regards to the devices, Endpoint Central cover all the wide range of devices, your desktops, your laptops, your mobile devices, your kiosk devices, or if you have a POS machines, everything can be manageable. And with regards to the operating systems, as you see in the screen here, all the Windows operating systems, Windows Server, Mac OS, and all the flavors of Linux operating systems too. And you can get this information from our website itself by providing the Endpoint Central system requirements, where you'll be having the series portal of supported operating systems too. All right. So let's get into the picture of the core capabilities of endpoint management solution. So we do have the first umbrella of endpoint management here, where the seamlessly end devices can be getting onboarded to the platform, and right from the onboarded, it can be readily proceeded for the asset management, and you can perform the automating the patch deployment, the life cycle of the management enterprise assets that you have, the device tracking, the location services, and all can be performable, right? On the second umbrella, the security posture for these endpoints. So what kind of applications that needs to be prohibited or restricted in your network, the application control will help you to do that. The device control, the peripheral devices can be manageable from here. The web and the data protections, DLP and the browser security plus we do have. And the privilege management comes under the application control as well. Mobile app securities, and next-gen antivirus, and the complaints to the respective machines on vulnerability platform as well. So end of this, on the management on the security, we getting the end user experience management, where we predominantly focusing on the employees of your enterprises and predominantly what are the applications they are currently using. The endpoints, whatever they have, right? Here on the employee, the end devices, how much they are replacing the devices, the employee sentiment, right? The kind of applications they may running on it, and how efficiently they are using those devices. According to the usage, we'll be capturing the information, and the insights will be captured, and the performance of the applications and the usage of those devices too, and endpoints of the organization's context, right? Once this has been captured with the insights, either way, the end users experience will be increased. In case of any kind of solutions or issues they may facing, they can immediately resolve it by assisted heal, which is nothing but they can raise the system admin portal, raising a ticket directly from the console with the powerful tool integrations. And as well as we do have a solutions to showcase like kind of issues showcase in the console itself, self-heal or a self-service can be performable into the end users machines. So that's how efficiently the product has been constructed. One of the leading analysts, the Gartner, we have been recognized for customers' choice in the year of 2024. We're happy to announce you here the same. So let's get into the today's topic, asset management, as a quick overview from the last sessions here. All right. So I do like to re-empathize these things. In case of any queries that you have, you can feel free to put it up in the chat box. We do have our panelists to address the same. So let's get into the session needs to be more interactive. I would like to have, right? So let me tell you a quick story about here, the John's tourism business, as a for better understanding here. So as an enterprise, they may have a multiple branch locations. In our story, the John may having the marketing, operations, finance, sales, HR, purchase, many departments they have, and the he'll be the responsible to managing the distributor workforce, which is nothing but where he'll be managing the endpoints on the head office location, and not only that, he may needs to manage the servers that are efficiently work for the enterprises, and then the branch office locations. So head office, the branch A, branch B, they may have a multiple locations to get managed accordingly to serve the organizations. And then VPN users, where the critical servers will be accessible via the VPN tunnel. The end users may connect with their VPN users. Along with it, the roaming users, the remote users too, kind of work from home scenarios. And as well as the mobile devices too. The handheld devices also can be manageable. So John is responsible for to manage all this distributed workforce. And with regards to the remotely managing the endpoints, as we mentioned earlier, the user may connect with the VPN in the condition of a low bandwidth, there may be a restrictions. At the same time, the users in the work from home scenarios, a complete roaming can be managed via internet, where they may have a no bandwidth restrictions, and either they may utilize our secure gateway server when it comes to the on-premise solution, or it can be a direct communicated via our cloud-based solutions too. So we're going to see about the use cases in the upcoming slides with the real-time scenarios, how we managing the inventory managements. And first of all, why do the enterprise that needs the asset management? So efficiently, we need to manage all the asset informations, the hardware, softwares which is running in the organizations, and we may need to have a list of applications currently running, and we may need to manage the licensing to the respective applications and how much they are currently utilizing the applications. Accordingly, we need to manage the licensing cost efficiently as well, right? And it needs to be compliant, and we need to have a ready for the any time of audit point of view and getting the reports accordingly. And here, how does the inventory scanning works, right? So for better understanding, I'll just quickly jump onto the product console here. So very starting stage at the time of agent installation, this is how the endpoint central console will look like. So currently I'm having a both on-premise solution and as well as the cloud-based solution. So very first thing that you can see the agent module. So other modules will be automatically placed over here along with our security modules, which has been covered in the upcoming sessions, and the previous session also it will be there. And today we predominantly focusing on the inventory, application control, and as well as the mobile device management, right? So it's a client server model, as you know. At the time of, as a John story, that may able to create a remote offices accordingly, which may have a direct communication or the distribution server communications accordingly. And once the remote office has been created, the agents can be seamlessly onboarded, and we have many methods to perform from here. So seamlessly, we do have an inbuilt solution with the directory services and other methods as well to onboard the agents. Once the agent is being onboarded, it will be having the full scan report to the say endpoint central server. Right? So what will be captured in the endpoint central under the inventory? When you're seeing the computer's view, any machines that is currently being managed will be listed out from here, and you can see the entire inventory list. So right from the summary, where you can see the disk usage, how much usage has been consumed in the target machines, and what is the OS summary, a CD key, a service tag number, serial number, any custom computer details that needs to be added, you can able to add it from here. And also for a reporting perspective, you can also add the custom fields as well. On the system view, where you can get the list of users used to log into the targeted machines, what type of accounts they have, and the services currently being running in the targeted machines, right? So whether it is running state or stopped status, and as well as the groups that are created to the targeted machines, and drivers currently being installed, whether it is properly running or not running, those status also will be captured from here. Additionally, the targeted machines, that like timed machines, may be provided the accesses with some kind of shareholders. Those shared list will be listed out from here. Along with it, the entire hardware data, like right from BIOS to end-to-end USB hub, what kind of BIOS, what kind of hard disk that has been currently placed, right? So whether the drive usage has been completely utilized or not, a keyboard, a monitor, network adapters, what kind of network adapters are there, and what are the IP address being allocated to them, and as well as the physical memory, the RAM information. So how much RAM has been supported and how much RAM has been currently allotted to the respective slots, and other hardware supported informations. And software view will give you the entire applications list, what are the applications are currently being installed, and right from here you can able to manage them, and as well as you'll be having a visibility of Microsoft Store apps, you can able to manage it from here. And the metered software, we're going to see about the metered software, which is nothing but it will help you to capture the usage of the respective applications. You can simply create a role and you can able to get the application status, how long it is being currently running, respectively you can manage them. And along with it, the certificates view will give you the entire certificates tools, whatever we has been supported so far. So any kind of certificates being published to the end users machines will be listed out when it has been issued and who it has been issued, what is the expiry date of those certificates information. And one of the model from the modern device management for Windows 10, Windows 11, and Mac OS operating systems, the geo tracking functionality will be working. So these sections will be predominantly covered in the upcoming session. In the second half of this session. And file details, like what kind of files are currently being running in the targeted machines, and how much memory is being consumed, and what kind of total count is currently consumed in the targeted machines. We can simply create a role along with the um, all the extensions related to the files that we have. And once it has been created, it can start to show up like how much used space in the targeted machines. Right? On the security posture, we'll be having the BitLocker information, like what kind of drive that has been encrypted or decrypted. If it is encrypted, you'll be also having a recovery key status too, right? From the inventory, you'll be having the BitLocker status. But in case if you want to manage your BitLocker, we do have a security posture on the BitLocker management portal from here, right? So this model will help you to create or encrypt or decrypt your drives on your own on the respective OS drives. This model will be helpful for you, right? So it's one of the security models that we have. You can able to create your own policy creation, and the BitLocker keys can be manageable from here, and you can also able to retrieve the key from this particular module. Inventory also will give you the same status, but you can able to manage it via BitLocker management solution. Antivirus scene, here the poster that will give you the status of what kind of antivirus being published, whether it is, like it is protecting status or not protecting status, what kind of version it has, all this information will be populated from here. And the firewall informations, whether it has been enabled or disabled in these machines. And missing patches, it's one of the threats and patch model where you'll be having the inventory status too, total number of missing patches according to the severity provided by the respective vendors. You can able to get the reports from here. And the restrictions on the other hand, again, the part of modern management devices, which can be covered in the mobile device management, where you'll be having the restrictions on the respective devices, whatever the things that needs to be enabled or disabled, you can able to perform it from here. And USB audit, especially for the Windows operating systems, we having a USB audit status. Like any USB device or peripheral device connected to the Windows machines, we'll be having these details over here. How long the machines can be connected, or how much utilized those devices in the end users machines. In case if you want to manage those devices too, we do have a device control portion as well. So this model will give you the entire peripheral devices can be manageable from the endpoint central. You can create a policies accordingly right here. So whether it needs to be enabled or disabled, or what level of access that needs to be provided to the devices, and you'll be having a detailed insights report from this particular device control module. And finally, from the inventory point of view, you'll be having the history status too. So history is nothing but where you'll be seeing the status or any kind of changes happening in the end users machines, hardware or software changes being happening, and as well as the user logon history too, right? So end users may log into the targeted machines, how long they have been log on time, log off time will be captured from here. So these are the overall inventory informations will be collected at the time of agent installation, right? And post that, we do have a subsequent inventory scanning. We're going to see about the same. So like from the presentation here, the endpoint central server itself will be initiating this scan, right? You can able to schedule it according to the needs, daily, weekly, or monthly, respectively, right? Endpoint central will be, the agents will be automatically initiating the scan, and that will give you the difference of the previous scan. Like once the scan has been initiated and its data will be posted to the endpoint central server, it will immediately compare with the previous scan data with the new scan data. So in case of any changes only has been performed, that data alone will be populated to the endpoint central server. So this must don't use the much bandwidth in your end users machines. So that can be configured in the inventory page itself, inventory module, where you can see the scheduled scan under the action/settings. Here you can able to create your own scan according to the technician's level. They can able to initiate the scan. It's a user specific scan, daily, weekly, or monthly. So this is a subsequent scan. As I mentioned, only the differential status will be updated. So this is what we've seen in the console: the hardware, software, driver details, certificates, USB usage devices, geolocations. All this data will be collected during the inventory scan. All right. Let's talk about the software licenses, how it can be manageable. As an example here, we're going to see about Office 365 licenses, right? Let me go through the console part again. From the inventory, we do have a manage licenses from here. Again, under the action settings, manage licenses. Here, where we can import the license informations for a single applications that you can able to directly upload it from here. And as well as we do have a provision to import it as a CSV, where you can able to add it as a CSV entry and import it directly. And here the applications that we purchase that can be added it from here, which may be already listed over here because the end user's machine already installed with the respective applications, right? And here the manufacturers, the version that you can able to import it, and number of license. And in case if you want to involve the cost data, you can able to involve it from here. And other required fields that you can able to import the license file as well. Right? And once it has been added, you can associate the license with the respective machines. And the endpoint central will also give you the status like which has already been installed in your targeted machines. Once the license status is added, it will give you the compliance information. Let's say you have the application purchased like Office 365 of 150 endpoints or 100 license that you have been purchased. According to the network installations and the managed installations, network installation is nothing but overall the endpoints are currently being managed. How many machines that has been managed? Installed with those applications. Managed installations respective to the technicians. So each technicians you may align the respective roles or align the respective remote office locations. They may be able to specifically manage for those locations. They can able to see it from the managed installations. So once it has been added, it will give you the status like number of license they have been purchased against number of installation. So that is what represented over here, right? So if it is greater than or equal to or less than, it will give you the complaint status. Under licensed or over licensed or complaint status will be captured. So with this information, you can able to efficiently manage the cost when you investing more on the software licenses. And those softwares can be grouped accordingly to manage the license efficiently because you may have a multiple versions running in the enterprise where you can able to group it and manage it efficiently from here. And as well as we do have a software category as well. Respectively, you can group the applications into the categories too. Now, identifying the unauthorized applications from here, right? So this is nothing but we have a limited applications control from the inventory point of view. One is prohibiting the software along with the block executable. Prohibit software is a feature where if you're deciding that application that needs to be restricted in your environment, right? So immediately you can able to select that applications from the list, which is already showing the list of applications installed in your network. Once it has been saved, you can able to define the policies, whether that application needs to be automatically uninstalled on the certain period during the system starter. And you can inform the end users about the prohibited applications list. And you can monitor the status from here, whether it has been uninstalled or still the applications are available with this machine. And what are the machines that still has the applications that has been prohibited. And where the end users also have the provision, like if you already prohibited the applications, the end users may need that application in certain cases, right? So end users have the provision on the each user agent tray icon will be there. They can able to request those applications. So those requests will be listed out from here. As administrator, you can able to approve or deny the request. So that page will be listed out like this. So right after the rules has been initiated, agent will be automatically notified with the respective rule. And according to the policy created by the administrator as your, right, automatically it can uninstall the software or it will enhance the end users to manually uninstall the software by providing the messages. And also users may request the software access. The user request screen will be look like this, right? So they'll be able to see the prohibited list and they can simply select and define the reason or purpose to utilize those applications. Those requests will be automatically showed up in the console where the administrative can take the actions accordingly. As an advanced version from here, along with the block executable, like any specific executable also needs to be blocked, and this restrict the installation of the applications as well. With the advanced version of the application control, we have a security posture from the security module. Yeah. And this specific application control module will help you to create your own applications group. It can be a allow list or the block list of your respective applications. and the vendors will be automatically listed out according to the applications currently being running in your platform will be automatically listed out, and you can simply able to select the platforms and adding the respective or grouping the applications to the allow list or the block list, right? Once that has been done, you can able to simply create the policies. So whether that policy with against to the group that have been already created to the custom group of machines which is managed with the agents being installed, right? You can able to select the respective groups, and you'll be having the audit mode or the strict mode, right? Audit mode is nothing but except the blocked applications, all other applications will be running, and the strict mode is nothing but only the allowed list of applications will be running, all other applications will be restricted. And you can enhance the end users to get the notifications accordingly. Along with it, the privilege management, right? This will help you to capture the number of administrative accounts currently open to the targeted machines. You can able to degrade the respective permissions, and as well as you can able to exclusion policy. Like in some cases, that machine that requires the administrative rights, you can able to leverage that specific account to the end users machines. And again, some of the applications may requested by the end users machine, like end users may request it, as we seen in the prohibited software list. Here you can provide the just-in-time access. So where you can able to define the computer name, according to the end users request, you can able to provide the fixed time window or the respective time window from the day 2 or day 2 3, and you can provide the access to the applications according to the they requested, or you can able to self revelation of the privileges. And also, in case the requirement needs to also access to the block list, you can able to enable this options too. Once this has been deployed, the end users can able to access that application for a certain time window. All right. And now we are coming to the part of integrations view. So especially when it comes to the managing an endpoint central with the services plus, along the side, the services plus is an powerful tool for the ticketing based, and also the asset data will be managed in the services plus as well. Right? As a unified platform, endpoint central agent itself will capturing the inventory information as we seen, and the data will be available in the endpoint central server. The integration will seamlessly enhance the asset information will be posted to the services plus, and right from there it has the list of technicians, the list of users accordingly, and the integrations once it has been done right from here for a cloud platform and the on-premise we do have an integration platform, and respectively it can jump on to the on-demand platform like like a services plus. And once it has been integrated, the futures or the benefits that we getting it, the better end user experience from the incident management in case of any issues. Right after immediately the end users can, the technicians can be automatically issued with the tickets by the end users, and they can resolve the issues automatically. And as well as the solutions will be automatically showed to the end users platform, and this reduces the time frame to having the issues with the end users machine. So though the non-tech users also can able to perform the IT management task once the ticket has been raised or the integration has been performed. And as I discussed, it's reduced the downtime of the basic IT requirements in the platform that we discussed about the distributed workforce. So any way that machines can be work from home scenario or within the network, so it will be manageable accordingly. And the remote control functionality. So those integration also enhance the remote control functionality directly from the services plus tool. Also, we can able to take the remote into the end users machines and perform the troubleshootings. And these are the ready third-party integrations we have, including the Tenable, Zendesk, CrowdStrike, Rapid7, Jira, Freshworks are readily available. Apart from this, we do have open APIs. In case of any requirements, we have open APIs to integrate with the third-party solutions. I hope I've covered the almost thing. And the second half of the sessions will be covered by our one of my colleagues, manage modern endpoints in our upcoming slide. So in the meantime, if you have any other queries, please put up in the chat box. I'll be available to answer all your questions till the end of the session. Thank you, team. I'll be handovering this to my colleague. Just give us a 1 minute time. We'll be switch over.
Hello everyone, a wonderful day to all the participants. Thank you, Karthik. So let me introduce myself. So this is Bhaskar Govindan, Senior Product Consultant. I will be taking care of the training and the implementation for the customers. And in today's session, so we are going to be talk about the modern management endpoints. So before that, could you please confirm me that my voice is clear and audio, video is everything is clear so that we can proceed further? Thank you. So let's talk about the modern endpoints. So what is actually called the modern endpoints? So the Windows and Mac, which is a laptop and desktops, that will be considered as a modern management endpoints. So why we need to manage it with our MDM console? So we have some management capability for the modern management endpoints from the MDM console. So which is like a remote wipe and location tracking. So whenever we are managing any Windows and Mac devices, so we need to track the device's location. So that will be covered from the MDM module. So that will be covered in this slides, the next slides. And first we can look into the profile configurations where we can control the devices from the MDM console. So let me take you to the console first. So first we can look into the Windows 10 and 11 laptop profile configurations. So whatever the benefit that we have for the profile configuration for the modern management devices first. So like a Wi-Fi profile configuration, so we can configure the email restrictions, and also we can put some restrictions to secure the devices, which is handled by the end user. And also we can locking down the devices with a single app. So for example, if your organization actually using a Windows devices only for the specific application, and I don't want to be allowed as admin to the end user which is using the any other softwares on their devices. So in that case, we will be having the profile configurations option. So this is our MDM module within the Endpoint Central Console, and we have the management option, so which will allow us to create the profile configuration for the HOS platform. Of course, we do support for mobile devices as well, and including the Windows and Mac devices. And also we do support in two platforms. So one is in a cloud, another one is in on-premises. So I got a question from the chat, so which is differentiate for the cloud and on-premises. In both, we will be supporting the MDM as a module for the Endpoint Central. And when it is in the cloud, so you can create your cloud console by using the sign-up form on our product website. And if it is an on-prem, so there is some prerequisites where you can utilize the .exe file, which is available on our product website. And also you can satisfy all the prerequisites, and then you can configure the on-premises setup within your environment. Okay, coming back to the profile configuration. So we can create it for the Windows profile. And here we will have the profile configuration, so which can be created for the passcode criteria. So if you wanted to be apply a passcode for your managed devices, you can configure that here, and then you can apply this policy to them. And also with the restrictions, we have the device functionality controls. As an admin, so we can control the device's functionality. For example, you can control the network, and if you wanted to be restrict the camera for the end user usage, then you can configure that here, then you can apply to it. And also we have a screen capture restriction. So if you are wanted to be restrict the screen capturing, so because they are going to be use the business data on their devices, and we don't want to be allow them to take the screen capture, then we can restrict this option with a profile configuration. And the same way, so we can configure the Wi-Fi profile configuration. So if we have any company Wi-Fi, so which is should be connected to the devices without the user intervention, then we can configure that here. So with the Wi-Fi informations, and also if the Wi-Fi is required the certificate based authentication, so we can add the certificate here, and then we can associate this profile. So what will happen? So if we have associated this profile to the devices, whenever the devices come into the range of the Wi-Fi, it will be automatically get connected to the devices without the user intervention. And also we can create the kiosk profile. So like I said before, so if we wanted to be lock the devices with a single application or a multiple application, so which only to be used on the devices, then we can create it with this option. So this will allow us to add the application, not only the application, and also we can add the web shortcut. So if you have any web application, for example, you have a Office 365 applications and which should be accessed with the Chrome or any other browser, you can create the web shortcut with this option. Then you can choose the web shortcut in this list. So which will be considered as a allowed list from the MDM console for the managed devices when it is in a kiosk mode. So once we have added the applications here, so then we can configure with a single app mode, and the same way we can go with a multi-app mode. So this will give you the option, not only the modern management application, you can go with the exe path. So where you can copy the exe for path from your computer, and then you can add it here. So which will be configured with the software, so which you have already installed in your managed devices. So in this way, so we can create the profile configuration and then we can associate it with the devices. The workflow of the associating the profile to the devices will be same for all the voice platform. Just we need to add the required configurations here, and then we can save the profile, then we need to publish it. So once it is get published, the profile is actually ready for associating to the managed devices. And then we can choose the devices, or if we wanted to be associate the profile to the bulk devices. For example, you have a multiple departments, and for example, it's in a sales and support department. So if you wanted to be associated a profile to the support department, then you can create the profile here for the support, and then you can create the device groups here. Then you can associate the groups to this profile. So any devices which is got associated to this group, it will be get automatically applied with the profile configuration, which is pre-applied to the group. So this is how we can create the profile configurations, where we can control the devices and we can apply the features for the managed endpoints. So this is how it will be looks like. So whenever we are configuring the Windows kiosk mode, and it will be locked with the application, and the end user will have the access to only this application, which will be locked in the kiosk mode. So now we can see how we can control the Mac machines. So Mac laptops and desktops. So we can configure with the profile configuration. The same way we can apply the Wi-Fi, and also we have a per app VPN for the Mac devices. And also we can secure the devices with applying the profile configuration. So the same way we can coming into the management and the profiles, and we have options to create the profile configuration. So Mac will have the profile configuration to create the passcode criteria. So where we can apply the passcode criteria for the modern management endpoints for the Mac devices. And also we have a devices functionality control. So where we can restrict the camera option for the Mac devices with this option. Just we need to add the profile options here. So we need to save this one. And the same way we can apply the Wi-Fi profile configuration. And also we can create the per app VPN. So if we wanted to be apply a VPN configuration for the specific application, then we can add the app applications here, and then we can configure the VPN, which should be controlled for the applications whenever it is used by the end user. So the same way we can create the profile configuration for the Mac devices, then we can publish it to the managed endpoints. Now we can see how we can distribute the corporate data, so which is actually we are holding on the Mac devices. And if we wanted to be protect the devices from the MDM console, and if someone is actually trying to get into the devices which is not authorized to the devices, we have an option called. So the same way we can create a profile configuration which will be available under the Mac OS, and then we have the recovery lock and firmware passwords. So for example, if we are providing the devices to the end user and they have been misplaced the devices, and it is got by any other which is not authorized the person, and they are trying to take the devices by booting from the recovery, then we can restrict it with the passcode. So what will happen, even though they are trying to break the devices, it will request to enter the password, so which we have been created here. So we will be we can ensure that the devices is always in control in our MDM module. So with this option. So the same way, we just need to create a passcode here, and then we can save, we can publish, and we can associate this profile to the Mac devices. And whenever any users is actually trying to boot the devices from the recovery mode, it will be prompting to enter the passcode. Now we can see how we can distribute the any data. For example, as a business, we would have some business data which need to be distributed to the managed devices for the user's purpose. Instead of sending out over the email, so we need to have a secure platform to sending those data to the devices. So for that, we have a content management. So under the management, we have a content management option, which will allow us to add the any data in our MDM console, and then we can distribute it to the managed devices. Actually, it will be supported for documents, audio, video, and image files, which can be uploaded up to 1 GB. So we just need to click here, and then we can upload the document from our local computer. So once it is get added, so we can see all the document that we have uploaded here, and then we can distribute it to the managed devices. So distributing the document to the devices will be sharing option, and then we can choose the devices group. For example, you have an ops manual, so which should be sent to all the support persons, which can be mapped under the respective device group. Then we can choose the device group, then we can distribute it. By default, this document will be opened with the MDM app, so they could not be able to open the application with any other application, third-party application. If in case we wanted to be allow them to access with any third-party application, for example, you are distributing an ops manual with a PDF file format, which should be accessible with the Adobe Reader. So then you can create a policy here. You can allow them with a third-party application, and also you can allow them with the other options like allowing the copying the clipboard, and also the screenshot of the document. And if they wanted to be delete the content from the devices, this is also can be allowed here. So we can create the policy, and while we are distributing the document to the managed devices, we need to choose the policy, then we can distribute it. So when we are distributing the content, this will be added into the MDM app content catalog. They can see the document which distributed from the MDM console. They can access it with the mobile MDM applications. And the same way, we do this for the mobile devices as well. So in this way, so for example, we have a tender notice with a PDF file format, and we wanted to be securely sending to the end user devices. We can use of this option, so which can be replace the email sending the documents. So now we can look into the geo tracking. Like I said before, so how we can track the devices and what are the MDM capabilities when we are managing the modern management devices. We have a geo tracking option in our MDM console, so which would be available on the EUM and security edition. So under the inventory, so we need to configure first for the geo tracking. So we have a control. So what are the devices and when the devices should be tracked by our MDM console. So we can go with all the devices. If you wanted to be track all the devices location by the MDM, then we can go with all the devices. And also we have a selected group. So if we have created the device group and we wanted to be only the devices are mapped under the selected group but tracked by the MDM console, then we can choose it from here. And we can configure that. And also we are tracking the location history, and also we can set for the limit for this location tracking history list. Once we have saved it, so we could see all the devices which are actually managed by our MDM console, and also which is configured under the geo tracking location history. So this is how it will be looks like. So if you are managing at most number of the devices, it will be showing on this map view, and it will be showing the exact location of your current devices where it is get located. And also we have the reports option, which will be available with the predefined reports, and you can get the reports of the location history and also the geo tracking status of your managed devices. So mostly these options will be used for whenever the devices are in roaming. So the marketing person is actually using the Windows devices and other mobile devices, which is actually managed under the MDM. And we wanted to be track the devices location from one console. then we can utilize this option, which will be available here. And also we can initiate the remote commands like a deprovisioning command to the devices. So if you wanted to be initiate the wipe command, so whenever the devices should not be in some location, and as per the company policy, you can initiate the wipe command to the devices. As we are managing our data, which is handling by the end user on these devices, we can consider which is when the devices should not be into the particular location. So this is how it will be looks like. So when you are managing the multiple devices, and it will be showing the all the devices location in the map view. So now we can see, so how we can control the devices within the location. So for example, we have a hospital environment. So we have some iPads, which should be used only within the office locations, the hospital locations. Then we have an option called geofencing. So with this geofencing policy, so we can create the fence, and which will allow us to create it in the map view. So for example, so just we need to create the location here. Just place the pin here, and then we can set the radius. For example, I'm just setting the radius for the 10 kilometer. So whenever the device is within this location, that would be considered as a compliance devices. If the device is not within this location, that would be marked as a non-compliant devices. In this way, so we can create the fence location first. And once we have created, so we can set the criteria. So whether it should be controlling the devices within the location, or it should be not within location. So not within location, for some reasons for the business use case, so we should not allow the devices to get into the particular location. In that case, we can go with the not within criteria. And if we wanted to be control the devices within the location, then we can go with the within criteria. So as I said, so if the device is not within the fence location, that will be marked as a non-compliant devices. So on those devices, we can initiate the frequency. So immediately notify the admin user. So whenever the device is marked as a non-compliant, it will be trigger the email to the admin user with this option. And for the best practice, we have another option for the next day. If the still device is marked as a non-compliant, so we can go with the action command. So which will give you the option for 3 options. So which is the loss mode. So the loss mode will lock the devices with the screen, and no one will have the access to the devices until admin releases the loss mode from the console. And also we can customize this message with the admin information. So this will be showing on the devices screen. And also along with that, we can include the ringing the alarm. So whenever the device is locked with the loss mode, it will be trigger the ring alarm on the devices. And the same way, we can initiate the action. So whenever the devices is actually marked as a non-compliant, even after a day, then we can go with the wipe commands. So we need to protect the data which is handled on the managed devices. If the device is marked as a non-compliant, for the best practice is still for the 2 days, then we can consider that is a highly critical on the devices side. So then we can initiate the wipe commands. It's not only for the complete wipe. If it is an Android devices, which is included with the SD card, we can initiate the wipe to the SD card as well, along with the factory setting. So in this way, so we can create the policy. So we can create it, and then we can associate it to the devices groups. So this is how we can control the devices with the geofencing policy from the MDM console. In this way, it can be locked on the devices screen. Now we can see the scenarios and the solutions. So the first scenario, so whenever we are using the Active Directory, and we have some Mac devices which is got enrolled, and we wanted to be automatically and remotely adding into the organization AD. So we have the option in the profile configuration, so which will allow us to create for the Mac OS devices. And then we have a AD as a binding. So we can provide all the informations of the devices here, and then we can create the OA path as well. Then the devices will be automatically mapped to the AD user groups. So with this option, so we can have a more secure on the Mac devices, which is managed by the MDM and the Endpoint Central Console. So now we can see, so as an admin, so we are going to be manage the BIOD and as well as the corporate devices. And some reason from the end user side, if it is in a BIOD devices, if it is in a corporate, so there is a no limitation on fetching the details from the managed devices. If it is in a BIOD devices, of course, the end user will have some concern to fetching some informations like a phone numbers and other details of the devices. So in that case, we will have the control where we can define which data should be collected by the MDM console. So we have the inventory. So whatever the devices got enrolled within the MDM console, it will be initiate the inventory scan to the devices and it will be fetching all this information, like a summary of the devices informations and this devices and installed application. And for configuring and which are the devices information should be collected, we have the device privacy under the settings module. And here we have the option to set with the not to collect. So for example, if the BIOD device is managed by the MDM and we don't want to be collect the phone number as per the end user consent, so then we can choose the do not collect option. So then this will not be collected whenever the inventories can happen to the devices. So in this way, so we can set for the devices information, for example, including the geolocation. So if we don't want to be collect this for the end user devices, then we can set it as a do not collect here. So then we need to save it. So this is how we can determine so which are the details can be fetched from the end user devices for the MDM inventory purpose. For example, if you have planning for any activity, for example, you have planned for the maintenance activity for your managed devices and in your organization, and you wanted to be informed to you all the end users via the managed devices. So we have the option called announcement. So which will allow us to create the announcement here. So we can create the announcement with this template. You can use of this option to the message that you wanted to be conveyed to your all the end users. And then you can enable the acknowledgements. If you are distributing any announcement and end users should acknowledge for that one for your purpose, then you can choose this option. Then you can choose the icon based on your planned activity. For example, if it is an emergency activity, so then you can go with the alert. And if it is a maintenance activity, then you can go with the announcement option. So based on your announcement type, so you can choose the icon here. Then you can save this one. So this announcement will be saved. Then you need to choose and distribute it to the group of devices. And also you can distribute it to the particular devices by selecting here. So this is how you can convey the messages for the maintenance or any emergency activity which you have planned for as an admin to all the managed devices and the end users from the MDM console. So now we can see, so what are the way that we have the unattended devices at a specific or a scheduled time. So we have the option under the groups and devices part, so which will allow us to do the scheduling the remote restart. For example, if you are planning for an activity, so you are pushing an OS update or app update, after that the devices should be restarted. Instead of you are initiating to announcement to the end user to do the restart, so you can create the remote restart option with the frequency. So for example, you can create it with the frequency for the repeating mode for weekly or daily. You can choose it in this way, and then you can apply to the managed devices. We can apply to the devices groups as well. So which will be initiating the automatic restart for the all the managed devices which are mapped under the selected groups. So in this way, so we can do the unattended devices actions to the devices from the MDM console. So now we can talk about the question and answers. So we have a live Q&A. So we will be available for next 15 minutes. We will be answering for your questions. You can shoot out your questions in the chat and we will be answering you. And also you can rate us this training program. And also we are come up with many initiatives to address your initial type of queries, which will be reduced after this training sessions as you are completing. And you can rate us this training session as well as your experience with the product. So where is the 5 is the best. And also the next training scheduled is actually for the OS provisioning and the remote management of the endpoints, which is scheduled on the February 22. Please attend that as well. You will be getting a good understanding on the OS provisioning and the remote management of the endpoints from the UEMS side. And also, if you would like to have a one-to-one session, like a demo or POC, so you can initiate your interest after this session. So you will be getting a option to request for the personalized demo. So we will be scheduling the demo and you can get in the deep dive of the product workflow as well. And thank you very much for your time. And thank you very much for this opportunity. We will meet you in the next session as well.